Alright, what's up guys? In today's video, we will be discussing how I stay shredded year round. Since 2022, I'd say, I've been pretty relatively lean. I've been anywhere from 7% to 12% body fat. I really haven't been higher than 12% body fat, maybe 13% body fat at the most, but regarded, I'm still pretty lean and muscular and, aesthetic at 13% body fat, and that's at my absolute heaviest. So I'm going to discuss how to do it in this video. I will say that most people think it's impossible to stay shredded year round, but it's actually not if you follow these steps. Okay. Step one, you have to eat at maintenance calories. There's a caveat to this. I'll discuss it later. Okay. You have to eat at maintenance calories. Now, in order to find your maintenance calories, you have to Google TDEE calculator. You Google TDEE calculator, you go to the website, you enter in the information that it requests of you, and once you do that, it'll spit out an approximate maintenance calories. Okay. Now you have to eat if you're like 12% body fat, and you don't want to be above 12% body fat, you don't want to be below 12% body fat. You have to eat whatever it says your maintenance calories are. So if it says your maintenance calories are 3,000 calories per day, that means you can't eat over 3,000 calories a day. Okay. Now again, there's a caveat. It's an approximation, right? Like you can enter information, you can enter in information that's not necessarily correct, or the calculator might just be a little wrong. But regardless, it's an approximation. So you want to eat at the maintenance calories it recommends you for a couple weeks to see if you're actually maintaining weight. If you eat at the recommended maintenance calories and you notice that you're gaining weight, that means your maintenance is really lower. If you're eating at the recommended maintenance calories and you're losing weight, your maintenance calories are actually higher. So there's that. Now, okay, there's another caveat to this. Step one, eat at maintenance calories. With that being said, you can eat slightly below maintenance if you want to, lose weight slowly, or you can eat slightly above maintenance. It's okay. It's okay. You'll have days where you're not very hungry. You'll have days where you're really hungry. So it's okay if you eat slightly below or slightly above maintenance. Just never overdo it, okay? Slightly above, slightly below. All right, step two. I recommend you eat satiating foods, okay? You want to eat satiating foods and these foods are vegetables. So you got, corn, broccoli, cauliflower, green beans, carrots, peas, asparagus, Brussels sprouts, spinach, just any vegetable. And what I do is I just buy like packets from the grocery store. I'll come to my kitchen, I'll put them in the pot and just boil them and put them all in one bowl, and I'll have assorted veggies, and I'll add them to my protein, okay? Now, foods that are high in protein are, as long as you're not fried, usually they're high satiating foods. So these includes like your chicken breast, your ground turkey, ground beef, egg whites, eggs, beef liver, Greek yogurt, stuff like that. Fish is a big one. Tilapia, pink salmon, flounder, that good stuff. These are all high protein satiating foods. And when you're trying to stay shredded year round, I recommend eating 1.25 grams of protein per pound of body weight, because of course, you're shredded. It's going to be, if you're maintaining, it's going to be harder to build strength as you're not in a surplus, especially after you've been training for a couple of years. Once you get to the more advanced level, building strength is going to be higher. So you're going to want more protein in order to build more strength in the gym, but you're also going to want more protein to maintain the muscle you have and also not be so hungry, right? The more protein that you eat, the less desire your body will have for carbohydrates. Okay, so eat high protein foods. Step three, I do intermittent fasting year round. So I never have my first meal until 12 p.m. no matter what time I wake up. I usually wake up anywhere from 4 a.m. to 5 p.m. or 4 a.m. to 5 a.m. So, I'm going 7 to 8 hours without eating my first meal. And those of you who don't know, intermittent fasting is just when you limit your eating to a specific block of time. So I recommend beginners eat in a 8 hour window. So 16 hours fast, 8 hour eat. It's not too bad because you're sleeping for a portion of it, right? So what I do is I eat from 12 p.m. to 8 p.m. and I don't eat anything before that and anything after that. And what this does is it teaches your body eventually not to be hungry until the time you just choose to eat rolls around. So for me example, my body now knows, hey, I'm not going to eat until 12 p.m., so I'm not going to be hungry until 12 p.m. Okay, and at nighttime my body knows, okay, I'm not going to eat after 8 p.m., so I'm not going to be hungry after 8 p.m. Okay, this is you can. There's also lots of other benefits doing intermittent fasting. For example, if you do cardio in a fasted state, meaning you haven't eaten before, you burn more calories. I don't know what the science is behind it, but it's true. It's an observation I've made. in others and myself. So there's lots of benefit to it. Now, intermittent fasting, you can consume, black coffee. You just can't consume food. So I highly recommend that for controlling your hunger, and I attribute that to being one of the reasons why I can stay shredded year round. Step 4, and this is beneficial if you want to, occasionally eat bad food or regularly eat bad food, depending on how much you do. And that's increase activity level. Okay, so you see hybrid athletes, like myself, you know, if you're lifting weights and running high mileage and walking a lot and cycling a lot, you can pretty much eat whatever you want. So for example, in the summer, whenever I run, whenever I cycle, whenever I do my bodybuilding training, my maintenance this summer was close to 6,500 calories a day, 6,500 calories per day, just because I was exercising, over 6 hours a day. I'm in the gym 90 minutes, I'm running 80 minutes a day, and I'm cycling a minimum of 2 hours a day, running 70 miles a week, cycling 200 miles a week, in the gym an hour and a half a day. And I'm walking a lot because I live downtown. My activity level was so high that I could stay shredded and effectively eat whatever I want, because my maintenance is so high. I'm eating pizza, um, muffins, lots of bread and butter. So this is probably the easiest way to stay shredded and eat whatever you want. Of course, not everyone likes running, not everyone likes cycling, not everyone likes cardio. So what you can do to increase your activity level is just by taking more steps. So like, if your step count is one of the factors that your TDE calculator takes into consideration when determining your maintenance. So, for example, if the job you work requires you to be very active, i.e., taking lots of steps, um, like someone who's in a warehouse or a nurse, even, or a landscaper, they're going to be walking a lot, taking lots of steps. Their maintenance calories are going to be higher than someone who works at an office job. Okay, so you don't have to run, but if you want to, eat more food while staying lean, increase your steps. Okay, and doing more cardio is an option. All right. Step 5, lastly, consuming zero/low calorie energy drinks or just regular drinks. There's plenty of options for this. Energy drinks technically aren't that good for you, but I also don't think they're that bad for you either. I mean, there's a lot of worse stuff you can do, but if you want to control your hunger, I'd recommend, consuming um, caffeinated beverages that are 0 calorie or low in calorie. These will also help satiate your hunger. But yeah, this is what I do to stay shredded year round. I've been doing this for about 4 years, going on 4 years, staying shredded year round. I've been shredded, years before, prior to I went into a bulk in 2022. So I mean, honestly, the biggest takeaways are: don't never overdo it with eating unless your cardio is super high. Intermittent fast, okay? This is super important. And eat satiating foods, but just always be mindful of how much you're consuming, okay? You always have to be mindful of how much you're consuming relative to, or with respect to, how much you're exercising. And if you do that, you'll be fine, okay? You can over splurge as long as you're, earned it through your activity. But you can't over splurge without getting fat, if you just eat too much. And that's all I've got for you guys today. If you're interested in one-on-one coaching, how to bodybuild, how to build muscle, how to become a hybrid athlete, how to run and build muscle concurrently, all that good stuff. The link for coaching is in the bio. And if you guys enjoyed this video, leave a like. All right, and I will see you in the next one. Peace.